My name is Jose Herrera. I served in the U.S. Army, and I served for 8 years.
My name is Serrato, originally Carlos Serrato. Branch I served in was United States Marine Corps, USMC, and I served for 4.5 years. They got that last half because they kind of forced me to stay in.
I have been stationed in New York, Texas, New Orleans. I've been stationed in Egypt, Iraq, Kuwait, and California and the southern border.
I deployed twice. One tour, my first tour was Afghanistan, sang in Afghanistan, and my second tour was EMU.
Some of the moments that really stick out to me is where we were having, we were getting hit with IEDs, mortar rounds. Right now that I can remember, it's 5 IEDs that we got hit with.
Have you ever played the game Mine or Landmine or whatever? Like, it's a really old game where you like click a bunch of buttons and you try to find out, you try not to blow up. That was Afghanistan. Every step you took could have been your last.
I remember one time we were doing security for Baghdad, and suddenly we started taking fire, gunshots. In one incident, I was the one that I was on the gun on the top, and I was just doing security, and then suddenly I hear a sniper. That was like the first incident that occurred to me. Somebody's trying to shoot me.
We're going up this hill. Next thing you know, the next thing I hear was boof, and it almost sounded like a firework going off.
Are we clear?
No. Hold on.
And like instantly, I just remember like squatting down and then just like being frozen at the time. It was almost disbelief in a way, because it was like in my head what I was thinking was, this shit isn't happening, like no way, like. But then it kind of also kicked in, wait, no, you're in Afghanistan, this isn't training, like shit's going down.
The training that we got is to react in the way where we feel safe. Well, in that situation, I ducked down, and then I had to start scanning the area, the buildings, because we were in between an alleyway. And that was my training that we got, that duck down and start scanning, trying to find this sniper.
The yellow jug that was like blown up, that was actually the IED from the first day. They really don't give you time to process it or talk about it. It's just kind of like, shit happened, just keep on going and do your job. So yeah, that was day one.
When I hear like a loud sound that trigger the explosions that I went through, it's very, it does take me back, and it goes back to muscle memory where, okay, gotta, I get more alert where, okay, where am I at?
You hear it all the time. It'd be like, okay, well, today someone got hit, today somebody died, whatever. They usually don't tell you their names all the time. It's like, somebody from Alpha, Bravo, or whatever died today or got hit. But they never really tell you, and you don't find out until you get home, because you hear the stories from everybody else.
So the first time that I had the flashback, and I remember it, that's one of the ones that I remember all the time. My mind is still foggy, in the sense of like, I was gone for 1.5 years. I just came back. Where am I at? I mean, I knew I was home, but my mind wasn't, I felt like my mind wasn't set right. Like I was in the clouds. Like it was just an illusion or just fake. I like to say that it feels like you're in a movie. It's not real. But I was home, And so I was laying down, and I remember watching TV. And I remember my son being there, my wife being there. And what happened is I fell asleep. The TV was on, and there was a loud sound. And in my mind, I thought it was an explosion. So what I did was I rolled over because I thought we were getting hit again. So I rolled over, covered. My heart is racing. I'm confused because I don't know where I'm at until everything started coming back to me like, wait, I'm not in my room in Iraq. Or, it was just very weird, like, where am I at? And then I remember my wife saying, you're home, are you okay? And then my son, what catches me all the time is that he says, oh, don't worry about it, Mom, he's having a flashback. And he was, I think at that time, 7 or 8. So actually him, by saying that, oh, he's just having a flashback, brought me back to, I'm home.
I got to the point where I almost killed myself, not knowingly. I had drank so much to the point where, going back, me and my ex had moved into an apartment in Van Nuys, and I'd go there every weekend. And one night I had downed a whole bottle of Goldschlager, and didn't remember the rest of the night. I just remember blacking out and waking up the next day to my ex next to me, and she told me, she's like, do you remember anything? I was like, no, well, I just remember drinking. And she said, you tried to kill yourself yesterday. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't try to kill myself, like, you're crazy. She's like, well, I came home and you were like about to jump off the 3rd-story balcony. I was like, and that I kept telling her that I just wanted to die, that I didn't deserve to live. And I was like, nah, that didn't happen. She's like, that's what happened. Like, I'm fucking worried about you. Like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Like,
So I feel that at that time, I was like, when I came back, that I was like, I'm fine. Even though I'm having these experiences, I'm fine. No big deal. Where I started noticing that my attitude or my behavior would affect my family. And that was the most important was like, okay, I don't want my behavior or to affect my family. And when I noticed that if I got sad, I seen my family sad. And I was like, I really don't want to put them through that. Why am I feeling sad?
in my mind, I wasn't thinking this is PTSD, because growing up, I guess from what society kind of shows you, like in the movies or whatever, I always thought PTSD was something worse. Kind of like, oh, if you get PTSD, you're just loony, you're fucking crazy. Like, you're this guy that's, I don't know, can't deal with life in general, and you're just out of it. So in my head, at least, I was thinking, okay, well, like, I'm not crazy, so I know this isn't PTSD. Like, I'm just frustrated, I'm mad.
The reason I would get sad, or later on I was diagnosed with depression also, it was because what I call seasons. And what I call seasons is that there were certain periods of time, September, October, that was one, December, January, that's another season. And what I call those seasons is that's where we lost the most guys. We were, like I said, we were getting hit. That became a normal, like getting hit, and I mean like with IEDs, bombs going off. It became normal. That was like, oh, it's like, oh, we got hit. That would become normal. When we started losing guys, we lost guys, one day we lost one, and then the next day we lost two. 3 days later, we lost another one. So and so those became seasons. And now, I mean, it still happens to me that September, October comes. November was an okay month. Nothing happened. And I mean, we got hit, but there was nothing huge in November. December is when we got hit again. We lost guys. So it was, those at the time is when I'm remembering, like, this is when these actions occurred. That's when I started feeling like, man, those guys are no longer with us.
It was a lot of emotions, loneliness, anger, just a lot of unexplained feelings at the time. And it took me quite a while to actually like figure out something was wrong. What deterred me at first was, okay, well, I'm gonna go and talk about the stuff I went through. How do I know the person from World War II or from Iraq or whatever who deployed there? They're not gonna look at me and be like, you haven't seen shit, man. Like, I saw this and that and X, Y, Z, and kind of like play the card of, in the military, of like, who has a bigger dick? Like, oh, I saw X amount of people die. What did you see?
Oh, the blast thing. Speak.
One of the incidents that, and we lost 2 guys, and I was the first guy there. So, and I had to check them. And I was checking like who's hurt. And for me, even up to right now, it's still difficult for me to talk about it. I really, I'm still going to therapy now. I really don't get very into the stories. And that's just because I'm not there yet.
The first therapist I actually got was horrible. All he wanted to do was give me pills, and I mean, I'm not knocking pills. Like, they have helped, but in the beginning, he pretty much I felt like he was Morpheus, where in the Matrix, he's like, either you take the blue pill or the red pill, and I was like, okay, well, fucking tell me, you're the therapist, dude.
When I was taking therapy first, with my first therapist, there wasn't a lot of details. I was treating her like just another, okay, this is what happened, no details, nothing. But I noticed that didn't help. And like I said, now the therapist that I was talking to now, I told myself, I'm gonna open up. I am gonna talk to her like she's one of the guys.
I mean, like I've always been told, you have it, but it's not gonna go away. You could take any magic pill and you're always still gonna have PTSD. It's not something that, it's not like cough medicine. You could just drink some cough medicine and, you're better. You're always gonna have to deal with it. The only thing is, you have to have the proper tools to deal with it. And as long as you have the proper tools, you could better manage life and everything else. Because one of the main things for me, at least, is I hate 4th of July. Not that I hate it because of what it stands for. It's more or less the fact of all the fireworks going off, because that actually triggers me a lot. With going back to day one, it was like, it sounds so similar to a firework going off. It just like, I don't know, I fucking hate it.
What's your position?
If I see a box by the freeway, I stare at it to make sure there's no wires coming out. But it just becomes like, but it brings me back to that moment of like, I remember seeing trash or a bag, a box, and then exploding.
But then after going to therapy, helping myself, I guess you would say, bring myself back home to where I could stop thinking, okay, you're not over there, like you're safe here, like you're not gonna get blown up, like there's no IEDs in the floor. You know, these are normal citizens, like just get out of the mentality of you're still in Afghanistan, you have to kind of like constantly be on guard, on watch or whatever.
I didn't want to be that, I didn't want to have that label of like, oh, he's a vet with PTSD. A veteran with PTSD, is he gonna hurt someone? You know? Or if I say anything to him, is he gonna snap and, you know, choke me out or something? You know, that's the image that, and I'm all like, I don't want that label, you know? I serve my country, I don't want to, you know, hurt anyone, like, you know, that's, so when they make those labels or they have this perception of a veteran with PTSD, that's not me, you know. So for me, the reason it took me so long to seek, well, it took me a while to start seeking that help, and I didn't want anyone to know. You know, I kept it under quiet, you know, at that time. I didn't even tell my buddies, like, hey, I'm, you know, seeing a therapist and a psychiatrist. I didn't say nothing. I would go every Tuesday, Thursday. Tuesday, Thursday. That was my routine. Just go in there, oh, where are you going? Oh, no, I got stuff to do. And the reason why, because I didn't want to have that label.
I mean, there's so much things that I think a lot of people don't understand about PTSD that I didn't even know until like she went to therapy and, you know, started talking to Aaron, and I was like, oh shoot, like I didn't even know that. Like there's so much things that could help and also hurt you with having PTSD. But I mean, you could still be a functioning individual. That's definitely like my main key point is PTSD. I mean, it does hinder you from time to time, but as long as you're seeking therapy and seeking help and getting help, the proper help, you can still function within society and be a totally normal person. If I didn't tell you, or if somebody else didn't tell you that they had PTSD, most of the time you don't even know they had it. Kind of same thing with depression. You could be a completely, totally normal person and they wouldn't even know, you know?
Let's say I get upset. Oh, it's because you have PTSD. Like, no, normal people get upset. You know, we get upset all the time. You know, our humor is different. No, but, you know, that's the thing. If we're sad, normal people get sad all the time, right? Oh, PTSD, he has depression. Oh, well, let's watch him. Hopefully he doesn't hurt himself or hurt someone else. So that's the whole thing. It's like, no, you know, with time and everything, I'm all realizing now. I'm all like, no, everybody goes through that. People have anxiety, just anxiety because, you know, they can't find the right parking spot or something, you know, or the right dress or, you know, the right shoes, you know, they have people having, so, but I felt that the media just really focused on portraying this veteran, you know, can't deal with his emotions and he'll snap or, you know, he might hurt himself. That's, I felt that, so, but now realizing that's not true.
Because I know for a fact if I didn't continue therapy or take my medication, I probably wouldn't be here today, because there has been times where I've like gotten so depressed to the point where I was like, you know what, like, what the fuck's the point anymore, you know?
I know it's been 14 years. It never goes away. I feel like, for me, it never goes away. And that's okay. Now that I'm dealing with some of the issues, because I'm still in that process, and it's a good thing. You know, eventually, is that it's how you react. It still continues things that trigger me, but my reaction is getting better in the sense that it doesn't go away. And, you know, big rigs, that's another one too, where now I'm getting used to them. I still get my anxiety, you know, I'm able to control myself, where I'm like, okay, I don't have to switch lanes. I can just continue driving on this lane.
If you notice there's something wrong, seek help, and don't be afraid to seek help. You definitely don't get into, or don't give into the stigma, and don't get into the mindset that I had, at least, which was somebody else has it worse than me, because it's really not like that.
My advice that I would give with veterans who are struggling: seek the help. Who cares what people are, if people think stuff of you, if you know, if do it for your loved ones. You know, that's one thing that helped me. I did it because I wanted to be a better person for my loved ones. That's, I mean, but if you don't, then do it for yourself. You know, because overall, me being a better person for my loved ones, I'm becoming a better person. And seeking help, it doesn't matter what people think or anything. Get that help. And as a vet, we sometimes like, oh, okay, I don't need that. I'm good, you know. It's okay to talk to people, you know. Yes, I do still struggle, but I'm doing a lot better. So, and I can only see how my future is gonna be now, and you know, it's getting better. I just, one thing I have to say is that we have to, all of us as veterans and civilians, we have to help all of us out, you know. And we should look look closely at ourselves to start helping each other out. Even, you know, family members of veterans. That's one thing that I did notice back in the day. They didn't have the support. Now they're finally getting a little bit of support. But that's something, you know, we're all in this together, you know. So I think that we should really focus on that and start helping each other out. I think that everybody is in a better place when we all start helping each other out.